Appreciate the chairman of the committee for giving us privilege to speak. The honorable members, I bow and respect your presence. The issue of consumer in the power sector can never be avoided. All the discussion here since morning, much hasn't been said about the challenge and the frustration of Nigerian consumers. Permit me to just say this. The condition of the Nigerian consumers, they are truths that are not being discussed much because emphasis is on investment, investment, investment. Can we, because we want to invest, we violate provisions of the Nigerian Constitution? Can we, because we want to invest, we turn our people to slaves because of electricity? This man, Howard Zinn, said it is the special gift of the oppressed groups to reveal universal truths. We need to reveal universal truths with regards to Electricity Act 2023. It is anti-consumer. The Electricity Act 2023 is purely anti-consumer because Section 119 is on consumer protection and licensing performance standards. Good. Based on that, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission developed Customer Protection Regulations 2023. It deals with metering, billing, customer complaints handling, service standards, disconnection and reconnection. None of these regulations are obeyed by the distribution companies today. All of them are violated in every community. I give you an example. Right here we are standing in Edo State. 3 communities in Edo State are told that they are owing 1.056 billion naira to Benin Disco. In Asaba, last year, towards December, Benin Disco shut down 7 factories intermittently. Each of them paid about 50 million naira before they could come back to work. Imo State, Transpower, that is a subsidiary of EEDC, is not licensed till date, but they are collecting money from every community in the state. And this collection is with POS, without bill. Now, where is the law? The question is social justice and fundamental human rights of citizens to be jettisoned? Now, the Electricity Act 2023, if you look at it, is similar to what William Lloyd Garrison described the American Constitution as before the England Anti-Slavery Society. He said it is a covenant with death and an agreement with hell. The Electricity Act 2023 is an agreement with death when consumers are concerned. The average Nigerian consumer today sees the Electricity Act 2023 as an agreement for slavery and death. Why am I saying that? Section 217 of the Electricity Act is on service and false declaration. Why will you tell me that I'm on ban A and you give me light for 4 hours and collect money for ban A and nobody punishes you? And it's false declaration. If you interpret it, it's similar to Section 419, obtaining under false pretense. And the distribution companies that do this boldly go to government and stand. But youths are put in prison saying they are doing internet fraud. Somebody that stole a loaf of bread is put in prison. But a distribution company that takes over the infrastructure that consumers spent billions of naira in a bomb community in Imo State, a community that spent 17 million to buy transformer, pole and wire, paid the Enugu distribution company to energize it. They were going to collect money with POS without bill. And the law says you have to submit bill. And every transformer should have a meter for you to quantify the quantity of energy you are collecting money for. Most distribution companies have no meter on the transformers. Tuesday, Monday this week, last week, we were at NEC, Port Harcourt Disco, Chatri, 17 communities in Odorikot in Akwa Ibom State. From 2019 to 2025, last year, when we intervened, had no light. But Port Harcourt Disco is asking them for 80 million naira debt. Last Tuesday, NEC insisted they should bring evidence that there was light in that area. The period they're asking for money, they couldn't provide it. Bulk billing has been abolished by NEC since 2016, but most communities are billed on bulk billing today in violation of the regulation. Now, you hear this cause tell you vandalism, electricity theft, and all manner of things against consumers. The question is, how did these bills you are claiming are debts generated? How were they generated? No transformer reading to show justifiably and accountably and transparently how these bills emerged. And you just sit in your comfort of your office and read out bills for people to pay. When the people refuse, they disconnect them without following the law. How will Nigerian consumers be protected in the hands of these distribution companies? As you review the law, I request, we made some recommendations. Please permit me for 1 minute to mention the recommendations. Look at this. They will tell you vandalism, electricity theft, section 217, 221, 226 are all on issues of vandalism. And then they are all on issues that relate to violation of rights. No disco has a policy or a unit for enforcement of penalties and offenses segment of the Electricity Act. Now, morally, it is morally wrong. The civil defense people say they protect critical infrastructure. The question is, who owns this infrastructure that are protecting? An infrastructure that a consumer bought and you took it over without paying him back. And there is third-party investment policy. The discos do not obey. The rule is that you sign an agreement with the disco that they will pay you back before you invest. Nobody enlightens consumers on that. They are kept in the dark. And when they go, the disco will tell them to sign it off, that they have donated it to the disco. What kind of wickedness? Where is justice in this? Now, when you look at section 17 of the Constitution, it talks about social justice. It talks about equity. It talks about how is rule of law maintained. Section 34 is against torture, inhuman and degrading treatments. And the discos do this to Nigerians. So I call on the House. Look at section 217 on false declaration. No punishment is given to the disco for charging people for band A and serving them for 4 hours. And then no punishment is given to them for taking over people's investment in infrastructure to make business and make their own personal money without refunding the people. Rather, government will tell civil defense, once you buy it and connect to the grid, they say it's their own. They use it to make money without refunding. And then you expect the infrastructure to be safe. So most of the vandalism you hear about is as a result of vengeance by consumers, anger by consumers. If they don't treat consumers this way, they'll protect their infrastructure. Honorable members, sir, representative of the speaker, finally, please, sir, I have submitted this, I've printed it, but I want to say this. It is embarrassing to hear National Security Advisor say they are protecting infrastructure without looking at consumer rights abuses. There's a nexus between consumer rights abuse in the power sector and vandalism of infrastructure. If you want to deal with it, you need to get the consumers, address their problems so that they can stand to be able to protect those infrastructure. Because those infrastructure is helping the discos make money and helping the people. Thank you. Please, Mr. Chairman, sir, our recommendations, the National Assembly should establish an independent electricity consumer protection advocacy agency with statutory powers to investigate consumer rights violations, enforce consumer protection standards, protect offending licensees, prosecute offending licensees, and present electricity consumers in policy and regulatory processes across the nation. In the Electricity Act, units are set up to handle regulation, transmission, distribution, none for consumers. In the Ministry of Power, regulation, distribution, transmission have departments. Consumer have no department. And then that is why you don't have accurate data today as regards consumer enumeration. You don't even have information on how consumer policy implementations are being violated. Now, number two, we are proposing a legislative advocacy center for power sector reform should be established by an act of parliament to serve as a permanent institutional mechanism for monitoring power sector reforms, receiving consumer petitions, conducting legislative research, and providing evidence-based recommendations to National Assembly. Because many a times, it's only government that talk to the legislature. They don't hear from consumers. But if you hear from consumers, the laws can be balanced. But the way it is today, it is one-sided only to government and service providers. But the consumers on whose interest privatization was predicated are not considered. Let me stop here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Honorable, off your mic.